Oh, all right.
Now be careful. Your heart.
Of course I'll be careful.
Be quiet, Harold.
All right.
Just get this in. Oh, I'm scared. Let's get the hell out of here.
All right, so I don't think it's going to randomly stop on us.
This time.
This time.
We'll try and look down every once in a while.
Yeah, just make sure that we still have... yeah. Anyway, so that's how the movie ended. And I'm glad that you all listened to our 2-hour dissertation.
On just the opening sequence of The Incredible Melting Man.
Yes.
Oh, God.
So I'll do the... We gotta find somebody to do a theme song for us.
Yeah. I'm sure we can get a metal band to do a really shitty one. Try to sound like the House of Flies people.
No. But, just something instrumentally that we can put, like, sound clips from, like, the different movies we've already done on.
Yeah. Kind of, like, go from the sound clip, have a little bit of the intro music, and then go into us talking.
Yeah, something like that. And it's introduction time. Welcome to the Podcasters Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Peron, and I'm here today alone with one of my co-hosts, Mr. Corey Cooper.
Well, hello, good sir. Yeah, Ro unfortunately was not willing to join us on this one.
Yeah, she had to gracefully bow out of the recording session today, and I think I'm going to assume for lady reasons. Lady reasons, you know what I'm talking about, Corey, right? Lady reasons. Lady reason, like she had to buy a new sun hat or join the suffrage movement.
Smash the patriarchy.
Or perhaps cook dinner for her children.
I feel like she doesn't have children.
Oh, okay.
That I'm aware of.
And whose birthday gift did I buy?
I don't want to know. Oh, God. So, The Incredible Melting Man.
A movie that I lent to you, and you took months to watch.
I think it was about 5 months that I just kept... They collected a little bit of dust underneath some of the CDs that I ordered from Bandcamp. I was like...
It just sat, and I was telling you, I'm like, this is one of the greatest movies ever made. I think you're lying about not watching it for 5 months. I think you actually watched it multiple times, because it is now your favorite movie.
It definitely is my favorite movie where Steve West is a character. That's all I can say about it.
Steve West. All right. So, The Incredible Melting Man has a special place in my heart.
Good start.
Ro's not here. We can belch.
Yeah.
So, Incredible Melting Man has a special place in my heart. I first saw it when I was in high school. Back in the day when CTV Sci-Fi was called the Space Channel. Remember that?
I actually do remember that. Late night would come on and I would try to find the old kaiju movies that would pop on here and there.
Yeah. And they would like show reruns of every Star Trek up to that point and the X-Files. And then they would just show a lot of just weird, low-budget sci-fi movies. And it was around, I think it was like the second or third year that network was on the air. They started doing this special hosted movie show called Space Bar.
Oh, okay.
And at first I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be something like Mystery Science Theater. No, it's just a bunch of schlubby guys talking about the movie in between commercial breaks.
So it's come full circle to us here.
Yeah, so I'm repeating the cycle of abuse. And... it was actually, speaking of which, it was also featured on an episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000. So, my heart was in the right place watching this movie and thinking, man, this movie could be on that show. But having not known it had already been on that show probably earlier that year, because we didn't get Mystery Science Theater here in Canada.
No, I was like, we just got the 3000 edition. I can't even remember what's the streaming service that got released on recently.
It was on Netflix.
Oh, okay, which we don't have anymore. we decided that Shudder was more worth our money.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Mystery Science Theater has their own app now that you can like buy their episodes and stuff, and I that's where I kickstarted their most recent season because I had $500. I could just piss out the window. So, that's where my money goes. So anyway, I saw this movie, like I saw this advertisement for it, and I'm just like, I have to watch this fucking movie. And I'm like, not only that, but I have to tape it. And I did. I taped it, and it was like one of the best decisions I ever made in high school. Next to the time that I decided to watch Flesh Gordon, when Space played that, teenage me was very, yes, this is great. I don't care that they have tinfoil on their nipples; those are boobs.
Joe for those pointy bits.
So I would watch the heck out of that movie, and at one point I had so back in the early days of the internet, right? We'll talk about the movie in a minute. I'm sharing some of my memories. Okay, so
it's very nostalgic.
If you're listening to this in your car and you're like, oh fuck, this is boring. Like, can you tell some more jokes? No, I can't, because I'm being nostalgic. Okay, so. Let me remember a memory that doesn't involve, my mom putting a stick in my butt. And
oh God.
No, it wasn't my mom. My mom didn't sexually abuse me. It was just my priest. But God. Which is weird because it was a woman and my dad's ex-girlfriend.
I never can tell if you're serious or not sometimes.
Oh, okay, so the molestation thing's a joke. But
okay, good. Jesus Christ.
But my dad, but we did have a priest growing up because my parents decided when we were kids to send us to church. And the priest of this Anglican church was my dad's ex-girlfriend, which is... we didn't think anything of it at the time, but, thinking on it now, I'm just like, holy fuck, Dad, what did you do to this poor woman that she found the church afterwards? Holy shit.
Something so evil that it led you to church.
Suddenly, my own mother seems sane and rational by comparison.
Which is hilarious, because the first time you, described your mother to me, you were like, yeah, she looks like Kathy Bates. And I was like... All right, this is, again, as it seems to be a common theme in our podcast, we're going to mention better movies.
Yeah. And also going off on digressions, which... So anyway, I recorded a copy of this movie. And remember back in the early days of the internet, how hard it was to capture video or even screen captures. You know how hard that was back in the day? It
was a pain in the ass when you used to get those old contests for, Nintendo Power, and you had to somehow video capture your TV, and it was always a shitty not projection. What I was thinking with
they had a whole guide.
Old tube TVs.
They had a whole guide about how you could do it with just an Instamatic.
Yeah,
you stay 5 meters away. No, not 5. It was probably 1.
I was 5. I'm like, damn, you had good disposable cameras.
Had to be a meter away from the TV. You had to blot out the sun. And so you wouldn't get any sun reflection on the screen, and don't use the flash. But anyways, so I had this device. It actually it probably was not just about as big as this podcast machine we use now, but it was this machine. It would plug into a serial port. It was called a Grabbit.
Oh, okay.
And it plugged into the serial port of your computer. And then it had an RCA cable that you could plug into the back of a VCR, and the thing could take screen captures.
Okay, not even full motion video.
No. It wasn't that sophisticated, but the thing still cost $300. And let me tell you, I had the most ballin' ass Transformers website on the internet back in 1998 because I was the guy who had screen captures of every episode. I can't do that thing where you're going to make your... Yeah, that noise. Yeah. Fucking... I'm going to add some cheers here, too, so it sounds like everyone's congratulating me for being so fucking cool.
Well, it's got to be a first for everything, right?
And then at one point, I had a school project, and they wanted us to make a magazine using some software that was specifically for like page layouts and stuff like that. It wasn't Adobe. It wasn't something like, industry standard. It was like, this is all our broke ass high school can afford. So, so I just took screen captures of the Incredible Melting Man, and I made an Incredible Melting Man magazine.
This was in high school or elementary school?
That was high school.
I was like, thinking
1999.
Well, that'd have been elementary school for me.
Year 2000, maybe?
Still elementary school for me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Kids, you didn't realize what the struggle was like back then. So, yeah, The Incredible Melting Man was that movie. And I know I just prefaced it. I'm building up a lot of hype for this movie. And if you haven't seen Corey, how about we go through the premise of the film?
The premise is based on just like my general recollection of the entire movie.
It's not that hard to remember.
I know. He somehow is viewing a solar flare. He's an astronaut. Steve West is an astronaut.
Yep.
On a flight to Saturn.
Yep.
I still don't understand what the flight was for.
Just to go, I guess.
Yeah, let's see.
Don't you want to go to Standard?
Standard?
Saturn.
There we go.
Yeah.
Man, 2 sips in the beer, we're gone.
That's where the Sega Saturn came from. I'd want to go to Saturn.
I'm just also like really confused how he saw the eclipse of the ring of Saturn, because aren't the rings just, it's an asteroid belt essentially, so wouldn't it block out the solar flare?
Yeah, I don't think the writer was that very scientifically minded, but so
it was the 70s after all.
Yeah, hell, the writer of the script probably saw the sun through the rings of Saturn too. You drop enough acid, you see a lot of things,
And then he, so I'll continue on with my basic recollection. He somehow is able to return
he
his.
Gets zip-zapped.
He gets solar flared. Somehow is able to get the ship back to Earth within like 10 hours. Like, it's pretty impressive, because by the time, like, if there was a whole event of the movie would have happened during a regular space flight for that kind of distance,
if we would have been like,
he'd have been gooped by the time he came back.
It would have been like, you're sitting in the theaters like, how long is this movie? Yeah, 18 weeks. What?
They lock the doors. They at least give you some provisions.
How long would it take to fly to Saturn?
Well, while you Google that. So yeah, he gets zapped by space magic, comes back with even more space magic, and then is getting looked over by a couple of doctors and a nurse, which starts his rampage through, I don't even know where the hell they are. They're next to a military base, and he massacres, I think, throughout the movie about 7 people. And apparently one of the taglines was, as he melts, he gets stronger.
Yeah, he gets stronger as he melts. Get it right.
I'm sorry. Which I also don't understand. That is like the reverse happens in the movie. The first dude he kills, he eviscerates. Like, he obliterates the fisherman.
Yeah.
There's like nothing left of him. Like, his entire torso is just gutted. And the last...
It rips his head off and throws it down a river. And you get this nice shot of it just wonderfully going do, and then it goes over a waterfall and it hits the rocks and it just splits open like a rotten cantaloupe.
Yeah, and the last guy he hits, he just kind of pushes off a ledge.
When you've had a long and busy day of melting, you're gonna cut corners. You're not gonna do as good a job. Hey, first thing in the morning, I'm about ready to like decapitate and disembowel a fisherman, but at the end of the day, it's just railing kill. That's
all he had left in him.
That's all I had.
But then he does that. He kills pretty much every main character that's introduced in the very beginning of the movie, except for the black doctor, who's the smartest. When he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm going home." Just like
He's just
5 minutes in, he's like, "Fuck this."
He says like a melted white person. Nah, fuck you guys. I'm taking the rest of the day off. You white people are too damn great. Melted men. Yeah, I'm out of here. This is
He'll be goop by morning.
you're trying to get me fired. Is what you're doing. I see what's happening. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get on the phone to my rep and then NAACP, and I'm gonna talk to Jesse Farrell. Wait, is it Jesse Farrell? Whatever.
I don't know. I don't know what train you're on. I'm
I
on
don't
the
know.
right train.
He's just calling everybody. Like, he can just call it. You know